I want to share with you today the 3 foods you have to quit if you want to get that flat stomach that you really want and you've been trying to get for a long time. All right, so if you're watching this and you watch this live, hit live. If you watch this on the replay, hit the replay. But I think this is going to be an important one for me to share with you because I see this a lot, okay? And when I explain what the 3 things are in this video, hey Sarah, when I explain what the 3 things are that are really important to getting that flat stomach, it might surprise you a little bit. So stay to the end and I'll take you through those 3 things. So the reason why this question came about was because I have a free group and I asked a question about what is it that you find so hard about losing weight, right? Hey Lisa, what is it about losing weight you find so hard? And one of the biggest things on the list was the foods you have to give up, right? So the ladies were saying, well, you know what? I find it really hard to lose weight because of the foods I have to give up. And that really upsets me in this day and age because I'm not so sure that that has to happen, because actually giving up foods is probably the one reason actually that makes you fail. Think about it like this, right? You start a new diet and you're like, right, I'm going to cut out, what's the usual ones? Bread, pasta, I'm going to cut out chocolate, I'm going to cut out my favorite sweets, I'm going to stop drinking Coke, all that stuff, right? That's what always happens on that happens every time when someone starts a new diet. It's like, what can you chop? What can you take out? Okay. Whereas for me, I'm like, right, I want you to be more inclusive in your diet, because the number one thing that keeps people from not achieving the goal of a flat stomach, okay, isn't necessarily the foods that they're eating, okay? It's being able to stick to it to a long time, because that's the truth of the matter is that the belly fat didn't get there overnight, right? So it takes time to get back out of that situation. But if you keep giving up your diet after 2 weeks every week because you have to give up your favorite foods, well, then you're never going to get a flat stomach, right? Make sense? If this is making sense, comment yes, because I want to make sure that I stay on track today. Got to get focused. So if that makes sense, right, that to get the flat stomach you want is going to take time. Hey Hina, that's going to take time, and that actually the issue is that you can't lose weight because you can't stick to it. Okay, got it right. So there's all this talk about all these foods that you need to give up. And, you know, inevitably, if you search the internet, they're going to tell you a certain list of foods, okay? And it's normally Shelley down the road who's telling you this list of foods, who's never actually studied nutrition, never actually worked with a particular client ever before. And that's what really pisses me off. I'm not going to lie, it just really pisses me off, okay? So, here's my 3 foods that I think you should give up in order to get a flat stomach, okay? So ready on me. Okay, here we go. Number 1, foods that you're intolerant to. Okay, so if you have a certain food and it makes you get bloated, it makes you feel crappy, it makes you feel fatigued, it might impact things like your blood sugar if you're diabetic, then maybe those aren't the best foods to be eating, right? That makes common sense. So why would you eat food that makes you feel crap, okay? So number 1, foods that you're intolerant to, then take them out. Makes sense, yeah? Number 2, foods that you absolutely hate. I take it back to what I said earlier, right? If you can't stick to the nutrition program that you're signed up for, then why would you eat foods that you don't like? Doesn't make sense. Like, if someone can explain that to me, just doesn't make sense. So foods that you don't like, take them out. Okay, if you really hate certain foods, take them out. Like, some people really hate broccoli, but they like carrots. Well, then eat some more carrots then, right? I don't know. But stop forcing yourself. Hey, Joe, stop forcing yourself to eat foods that you don't like because some Shelley down the road nutritionist says you have to eat these foods or you can't lose weight. In fact, most of these programs are trying to sell you a method that they're trying to make sound unique, okay? Because they're saying, well, if you cut out these magic foods, you know, and then what they'll do is they put certain foods in the program that are lower calorie, and then guess what? You get into a calorie deficit and you lose weight, and you think, oh, it's that magic food. It's not, okay? It was just came back down to energy balance, okay? The third type of food I'm going to suggest that you don't eat if you're with a flat stomach are what I call gateway foods, right? So, you know, you have foods that if you eat one, you're going to eat 20, yeah? You know those foods. Chocolate often can be one. I can totally understand it. I'm not saying you have to cut it out, but I can see why it can be a gateway food. Like my clients eat chocolate. They drink wine. But if you've got a food that you know that once you pop, you can't stop. So for me, it's wine gums. I know that if I have a pack of wine gums in the house, that's it. It's all over and they're all going to get eaten, right? So that's it. Those are the three things. And anyone who tells you differently is talking absolute rubbish. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? And I really want you to understand that. So if you've got a friend or you've got friends who are trying to lose weight because summer's coming, it's not going to be long, the days are getting lighter and all that stuff. If you've got a friend who might need to hear this message and is trying to cut out all the foods and they can't go out because on the menu it's got the bad food that they're not allowed to have, right? Then tag them in this video or share it with them, okay? Because I think people need to hear this message that your diet or your nutrition, whatever you want to call it, I know people get really upset about the word diet, oh my God, should be more inclusive than it is getting rid of stuff, okay? That's the message from me. Hey, Kerry, like your nutrition should be inclusive, okay? You can include things like chocolate, you can include sweets, you can include bread, you can include pasta, okay? I've got a client, she just did her weekly review, all my clients do weekly reviews, and she's 24 pounds down now, and she still goes out with her hubby and her friends and still drinks food that she loves. Hey, okay, so it doesn't have to be that you have to cut everything out. And I really want to get that message across to people that the internet is full of is like the wild, wild west. People will make up stuff to make it sound sexy. In fact, this headline on this video was written in a specific way because I know it's going to get your attention because you're so tuned into, oh, what's the magical food that I have to give up that's going to make me lose weight? No. Like I just said, got a client 24 pounds down. Still eating food she loves. Okay, so ladies, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Watch it back on replay. But those three foods are the only three foods you should ever really have to cut out if you're trying to get a flat stomach. All right? So if you need help with setting up that nutrition so you can eat more foods and still drop weight, then drop me a message. Otherwise, stay strong. Talk soon.